He produces moving pictures, but how is he at gluing pictures? Welcome to the Treehouse. I'm Camden, and today we're going to be talking to the man himself, Dr. Lance Clark. Stay tuned.
I'm Adam Widener, and this is the Treehouse.
Welcome back to the Treehouse, the show where we get messy, make mistakes, and make people do things in public they would rather not do. I'm your host, Camden Cowles. Today's guest is the one and only Dr. Lance Clark, producer of the new Forrester film Wayfaring Stranger and the Dean of Arts here at Huntington University. Thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
So for today's craft, we will be making movie vision boards, and here's the goal. We will be gluing magazine clippings to create a style or vision for a new original film or show. Once we're done, we'll give an elevator pitch to our judge and try to sell them our new film. Here's an example of one on the screen here. Okay, so our floor director will come and judge, see who is the best, and determine the lucky guy to fall victim to our punishment this week. As we make our beautiful boards, I have a few questions to ask you to get to know the Lance behind the Clark. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
You ready? Cool.
I'm totally ready.
Let's go. So, to start things off, I understand you have a dog.
Oh, I don't just have a dog. I have the dog.
You have the dog.
Charlie.
Charlie the dog.
Wonder dog.
Tell me a little bit about Charlie.
Charlie is a golden doodle.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6 years old, and he is a fully licensed therapy dog.
How long have you had Charlie?
We bought him. We did buy him. We got him when he was like 12 weeks old.
Yeah.
And he is 6 years old.
Awesome.
Yeah, he turned 6 just last week. He had a birthday.
Now, I imagine you bring him around with you everywhere you go. Does he enjoy being on the film sets?
You know, he loves being on film sets. The problem is that, you know, sometimes he can be a distraction, so I got to be really careful with that. Mm-hmm. You know, I have to like keep him guarded and not let him, you know, get too much in the way and stuff. But you know, when he comes on set, I feel like he just helps people relax and just calm down and feel like they just can be themselves, you know, and kind of takes the stress away from everybody. Mm-hmm. At least that's the goal.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that he accomplishes the goal pretty well.
Good.
So speaking of film sets, you were on a film set this summer.
Oh boy, was I ever? Yes. Our first feature.
What was this movie about? And can you tell me about your role?
Yeah, it's called The Wayfaring Stranger. It's about a washed-up country singer who gets a second chance at life and helps a young pastor and his family build a new church, circa 1970. Mm-hmm. And I was the film producer.
That's awesome. And
had a great time. It was a lot of work. We filmed for 19 days.
Really?
And Charlie came on set a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did. It was
awesome.
Wonderful.
And also kind of in the same vein, why don't you tell me, like, one of the hardest thing for you personally tackling the first feature film here at HU?
I think one of the hardest things was bringing awareness to the project and the fact that this was not a student project. This was a professional project. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people just didn't understand it. We had to create a whole new business called Forrester Film, mm-hmm. LLC. And when I went out there to raise money for it, that was a challenge, you know. It's our first film. It was a $500,000 project, and you know, we didn't have a proof of concept, so that was a challenge. But we rose to it, and God provided, and we got through 19 days of principal photography. It's pretty great.
That's awesome. Now, you are also a professor here at HU, and I'm just kind of wondering, what made you decide that you want to teach others about filmmaking?
I've always loved the art of the visual story. My father was a avid photographer and a pastor, but he loved the arts, and he probably took 5,000 to 10,000 slides back in the day, 35mm slides, old Kodak camera, and I just grew up loving that. And he would always tell a story, you know, at the gathering of the family, you know, the Christmas, you know, gathering and the Easter gathering and all that kind of stuff. And then we put these slideshows together, and it was just really fun to like. That sounds so old to say that, but that was really cool back in the day, you know. And so I grew up just very fascinated with that and wanted to be a part of that world. The first film I saw was Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that was transformational for me to see the big ball rolling down. You know, it's the first 5 minutes of that film.
I remember seeing that for the first time.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
it was so cool.
It's so cool, and I snuck into a movie theater. I paid, but I snuck into the theater because I wasn't allowed to go to movies as a kid.
Really?
My parents didn't let me go to movies.
Oh, okay.
They were the devil. Did you know that?
And it's, that one in particular.
That was, you know, not a Christian film necessarily. And that changed I said, I don't know what I'm just watching right now, but I want to be a part of it.
Real quick, why don't you tell me just one of your most memorable experiences on a film set?
Well, I've only been a part of a couple features, and I've only produced one feature, but probably of the 130 or 40 student films that I've been a part of, probably one of the most memorable experiences was walking out into the middle of a woods, and it was in the middle of the winter, and I just stumble across this whole film team filming. The dedication, the passion to film in the middle of the winter with 4 inches of snow on the ground. That stood out.
Awesome. Well, we've run out of time, so glue sticks down.
Oh my, wow.
And after the break, we'll come back to see who has won the challenge and who has to suffer the consequences.
I'm nervous.
Now, in our last episode, we saw our host, Andrew Martin, lose our challenge. So let's check in with his punishment during the break, and we will see you after. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Andrew, and I lost today's challenge at the Treehouse, so I'm gonna have to ask people to WWE wrestle and take hits on the mats. Would you want to WWE wrestle? Would you want to WWE wrestle right now?
WWE wrestle?
WWE wrestle?
Definitely not, thank you.
Okay.
No. Okay.
And welcome back. Now we call out our judge to define who is the winner and who must do this week's challenge. Are you ready?
I don't know what to do here. I'm not sure how to do. I hold something up. Do we?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous if I'm being honest.
This is an elevator pitch, huh?
Yeah.
We're just pitching right. Okay, the judge is.
You can go first if you'd like.
Okay, do I?
So there's some pitches going on here.
Yeah. Hi.
Alright, let's see it.
All right. So I'm gonna hold this up so you can maybe see this. All right. So my movie idea is
Yeah.
called Underworld,
Okay.
and
Nice.
the point is. In somewhere in the distant future, if
Okay.
you want to just forget your life because it's a miserable life,
Ooh,
they
okay.
inject something into
Okay.
your back of your neck, and then you go to work, and when you go down in the lower part of the building, you forget everything. You don't even know what's happening up above the
so
world.
is it like a thriller?
It's thriller, and then when you leave and go up the elevator, you forget what you just did in the underworld,
Wow.
and so you have two dual lives. So you always live. In the upside world, you would always live in the now, but in the downside world, that's your work world,
That's really deep.
underworld.
Okay, let's see yours, Campbell.
So for mine, it's a children's film about a
These
fish.
are very different.
It's
films.
very, very different. About a fish who wants to prove himself in a talent competition.
Okay.
It's a talent show in the ocean. They are trying to just trying to prove that they are talented and
You know, I
pretty
really
and awesome.
like the colors, and also it has Zendaya.
It's voiced by
So,
Zendaya. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna have to say Candy's the winner.
I can't agree with you more. I would vote for Camden's too.
Oh, tropical ocean. Okay, I'm good.
I
Yeah,
guess you don't like my
that's
dystopian
right.
underworld idea, you know, the
Yeah.
poison pill. It's not working.
All right, Camden's the winner.
What? Oh, wow.
I was nervous.
I'm
so
scared
nervous.
now what I gotta do.
All right, well, it seems that Lance here has lost the challenge. And as your punishment, you will have to read a series of terrible jokes in a public place on campus while
no.
pretending to be
No.
the greatest stand-up comic in the
no,
world.
no, not the hub.
Oh,
Not up on stage in the hub.
we'll see. Tune in next week to see the results. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Camden Cowles. Thank you so much, Dr. Clark, for being here. I mean, I kind of liked it. We will see y'all on next week's episode of the Treehouse. Toodles.